All right, all right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another guest speaker session here at the Execution Lab, where we help people build and scale income first businesses. Today, we have a very special guest, Aaron De Souza, who built a very interesting business helping women find the love of their life. And I'm really excited about this. So I'll let you, Aaron, go ahead and introduce yourself and start with your presentation. So thank you for being here, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Abel, and to Ryan and Marcella for being here as well. So, as Abel said, I help women find the love of their life through coaching and not matchmaking. And today, I will share with you the entire journey of how I got there and why. A simple problem led to high ticket business. So the main takeaway from you, I think, will be that the market, the market decides what your experience is worth. So we'll dive into what that means. So I'll start with going back to 2010, which is when I graduated from the engineering physics program at UBC. So obviously, it was not my goal to become a love coach, having done the degree in engineering. But you'll see how that came to be because I focused on my studies for 5 years, from 2005 to 2010, and there was no I did not date at all. So now that I finished my degree, it was time to find love because for my personal life, I wanted to focus on that. So from 2010 to 2017, I worked with 8 different dating coaches, and due to the advice not landing with me, I got zero to mediocre results for 7 straight years. So which means no girlfriend at all. There were a few dates, but I would always get friend zoned. And the biggest challenge was sharing my more romantic feelings with women. Whenever I asked the coach about verbalizing those, the answer was always men do not share their feelings. You just assume that she likes you, and it'll just naturally evolve from there. But that did not happen to me. So in 2017, then I d- decided to hire the only coach that challenged what every other coach said. And Alan, his main thing was that do not avoid the hard conversations about primarily sex and exclusivity when dating creates fake progress. Uh, because he said that without that physical bond, you're just friends. So I shy away from that because my main issue was being friend zoned. He was the only coach who said, speak it out loud. It could be something as simple as saying, I like you, right? But even that, the coaches before him would say that's a weak game. It's weak, and men do not need to say it. But Alan did. So I worked with him for a full year. He was based in the US, so we primarily spoke through Skype. And his advice actually worked because in the August of 2018, I found the then love of my life. And so a few things to note was that we just skipped, I would say, 5 years of playing it safe or playing it fun, and we just got right to it from the like first and the very first few dates, we already had those hard talks about sex, about inclusivity, and money, and marriage and kids. It was all pretty quick. We spoke about all those, uh, and then the other thing was that we met through Toastmasters. So this was not we did not meet through any dating app. We were members of the same club for a full year. So it's already that familiarity built. And in today's age where a lot of women and men complain that apps do not work, I was proof that you don't need an app to find the love of your life. So we got on the same page. Of course, we did not know what the future would hold, but we were like, no, we are very compatible people, and we are on the same page with the main things, and so that was a result of working with Alan. So that now led me to telling people about this great coach and the great result that he helped me get. And here's where the market, that word that I'd used, the market really showed me that this was a topic that people wanted to hear more about. Because at one Toastmasters group, so it was Seymour speakers, I gave this short 7-minute chat, and there was a speech coach in the audience that day, and she said that, oh, there's this big event happening in October of 2018, as you can see, and they want someone to give the talk on sex. So they had like 12 talks. They wanted to have one speaker to talk about sex, and they chose me. So it was one speech that I gave at Toastmasters Club that led to this much bigger speaking engagement. So that speech was October 2018 in front of 350 people, and the topic was monogamy or polyamory. So one partner for life, or multiple. So it was a bit of a controversial topic, but I added in a lot of humor and fun. And the video is on YouTube if anyone wants to search that and even watch it. So the message here was that people were paying attention to this, because I had no plans to speak about this on such a big stage, because it was my first time giving a talk to that many people. And that led to so Alan, the coach who worked, he helped me find true love. And then female friends in particular asked me for bold dating strategies. They were tired of going out on dates for 3 to 5 hours each over multiple weeks. And they preferred if men would do as I did, be more direct with them in terms of romance and sex, to say what they wanted. So my advice to women was pretty standard. I would say, you ask him then. If he's not saying what he wants, you must ask him what his dating intentions are. Does he want something casual, something serious? Does he want kids? Does he not want kids? It's in your power to do that. And that simple advice for them to ask seemed to work quite well. And in fact, so well that I got my first organic paid client in April of 2019. 19. So this was a friend who I just spoke to a few times, and she ended up saving a lot of time and heartache. And she paid me an amount of money that I will never forget. I will never forget because I had never expected to get paid for giving free advice. But that was the first clear sign that this could be business, and I officially made it my business in the August of 2019. So this coming August, it'll be 7 years of running it. Okay, so then the title that women gave to me was that of a love coach. That's what they would refer to me as. So speaking on stage led to my first few clients until COVID hit, and then there was a 2 year pause because I just was not in the right headspace to go the business during the COVID. And then I resumed in August of 22. And at that point, I enrolled multiple clients who worked with me for 6+ months. But they were mostly free or very low priced engagements. I didn't really know what to price my services at. And there were clients from France, Belgium, Australia, US, Canada, Indonesia, even my birth country of Pakistan, India, and more. So given that I would meet a lot of people from various communities on Zoom, some of them would ask for more dating advice. And then my first price validation came in the April of 23 when I was paid 200 US for an hour of coaching. That was the first sign about how big the pricing could go until disaster struck. So here is when I thought things would go well, but they actually went the opposite way, and way opposite, because I ended up in homeless shelters starting June 2023. So this was the point where I hit rock bottom, and mainly because of the fact that I treated money as being secondary. So I always thought it's all about the value and giving, and without paying attention to the money aspect of the business, I ended up not being able to pay rent, and having to move through homeless shelters for 6 months. So from June to December of 23, it was homeless shelter after homeless shelter every 30 days, because that's usually how they will work. But the good news was that these were high barrier shelters, which mean that there were no people suffering from addiction or in extreme states there, which means even though they were tough to go through emotionally, they were quite good. They're quite good. They were clean. They were safe, and they gave me a lot of help. They show you how you can get back on your feet once you're in them. So the big one here, the big lesson was that I did not listen to what the market was saying. Right, the market said that you cannot keep doing this for free, and since you're not learning that lesson, we have to show you the very hard way that you cannot keep treating money as secondary. So then from I would say I would say January of 2024 to mid June of 2025 was the whole rebuild. So it took a good year and a half for me to find my own place to live in, and which is in Gastown, which is where also April and Marcella are here. So that's a cool coincidence that we're all three in the same neighborhood. And so this is where I learned the three fits that you need to run a very successful business. So the first is the message market fit. The second is the offer market fit. And third is the product market fit. And I learned these three from a gent called Stephen Kotler, who, among other books, wrote The Art of Impossible. So this was an email he had sent to his list, and I've never forgotten these three since I learned them. So the problem with me was that I had already discovered the product market fit. When women would come to ask me for advice and were actually getting results in terms of asking the hard stuff on the first or second date or saying no to matches, I could already see the product market fit, but it was the top two that I was not directly addressing. So here I have three examples just from my business that you can also apply to yours and see how they work. So a simple example of my message market fit is I help women find the love of their life. That's very simple for most people to understand. And when I kept sharing it through Toastmasters or other audiences, a few women would be like, "We want to find love. Can we speak with you?" And so that very simple message helped get my first few clients. Then is the offer market fit. So now this usually happens on my sales calls. So when I'm on one, either on Zoom or in person, I go deep with women into what they will want to achieve, what their main challenges are, and then say, I have 3 to 6 months programs for this price. I can help you out. Would you like to buy? So the offer contains what your service does and for what price. And the third is then now the actual product. So after they buy, what is my coaching program like? So this is where I have to deliver the week by week coaching, and the clients grow, they achieve outcomes, renew, and refer friends. So of probably all the things I will say in this presentation, this is probably the most important slide, and the main voice that you have to listen to, no matter what business you run, is the voice of the market for the message, the offer, and the product. And you need all three dialed in to run a profitable business. Any questions on this slide before I go on?
No questions, but I'm curious about the Art of the Impossible, the book.
Yeah.
So I look into that later.
Yeah.
Sounds really interesting.
It's one of my favorite books because he talks about doing hard things, right? And my whole business is about doing the hard thing to talk about the most important stuff when it comes to dating and long-term romantic relationships, which is it all starts with sex, exclusivity, and then money, marriage, and children. Those are always my top five, right? So those are usually hard topics to discuss. So in the book, he shares overall about doing hard things in life.
I got another question. So this is your message right now, right? I help women find the love of their life in 6 or 12 months, right? With
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
what was your message before the message? Or I'm curious about the messages that didn't work.
Yeah, so that they were more focused on who I was. So I would say I'm a love coach, or I help women through love coaching. So I was emphasizing more that I'm a coach and not so much on the actual outcome. Yeah. So yes, I am a love coach, but to lead with that was not the strongest way. If I lead with I help women find the love, now it's the outcome in the first 5 seconds, right? So does it didn't really matter if I called myself a love coach. Yeah. All right. We will go on to the next one. So this was very recent. So this was in the March of 2026. So this was my best client, or most successful one. I've had other clients get engaged and married, but she was the first one who was public that she had worked with me. So so Dustin is her fiance. They got engaged this past March. So they've now been together for 3 years and a bit more than 6 months, and they are getting married in August 2027. So this was the proof of long-term client impact, that the coaching we did helped her and Dustin to create this long-term relationship. So this was just this year, and this was further proof that the product worked because I ultimately helped her find the love of her life in 6 months. Uh, so yeah, this was my best success in these last 7 years. And if anyone wants to look at her Instagram, it's her handle is right there. Okay, going on. So this is where the offer and ladder in terms of mindset has evolved over the past 7 years. So it started off helping women get dates, which is a very short term result. There could be long term impact, but the more focus is the next few months. One level up is the mid ticket offer, which is help me find a partner. So this result now can impact the next 5 to 10 years. The one level high from that is the high premium ticket, which is help me design the next 50 years of my life. So now we just do not look at the next 5 to 10. We're looking at the next 5 decades. So that's a very high, much higher and wider level of thinking and coaching. And finally, then we have the private client advisory, which is at the level I am close to being at, which is help me architect a relationship that compounds for decades. Now it's not just about experiencing, but growing and and compounding. And Connor, thanks for your feedback. Thank you for your feedback. Good it landed. So this took not just 7 years, but it took a lot of deep thinking and constantly improving my coaching programs, right? So each the client, given that it's so deep with each one of them over a period of weeks or months, each week I have to think: is she making progress? Is she saying the things? Is she doing the work? What is she understanding? What is she not? So I have a very deep relationship with each one of them, which is why it's helped grow in quality over the years. So at the private client advisory, it's compounding over decades, and that's what now the price needs to reflect, which is my next slide. So these are the numbers which have evolved as the years have gone. So it all started with free coaching. Women would come to ask for advice. I would give them. Then I had the 200 US per hour, which I sold a few of those, but hourly coaching can never scale. Then it was a few multi-month the coaching programs, and this is what Nikita was part of. And then over, I would say since the June of 2025 till now was that big transition from figuring out the premium relationship architecture to the US quarter of million price tag for my 6 months program. So that took this whole year because I enrolled a few clients last summer who all got great results fast. And then I thought, what is the maximum I can charge? And that there are few women who will pay. So after speaking with Chat GPT and asking it for lots of advice, and then also being bold about sharing it, ironically, when I shared the 250,000 for 6 months, I've got a stronger response than when it was at 5,000 for 6 months. So it all comes down to sharing the message of how much your product or service is worth. And so I'll just add, Connor wrote, what does progress look like when she's in the midst of the journey? Great 100,000-foot view framing. So progress looks a bit messy in the middle. She's now learning new things. I think the most challenging part for women is saying a clear full no to a partial match. So in the first few weeks or months, she will meet men. But then I say use text and phone calls to ask those hard questions, especially regarding what he wants. Does he want something casual or something serious, something short term or something long term? And when it's clear that he's not going to be a good long term match, many of them need a few weeks for me to coach them through that. And what unlocks it is me helping them see that, to see it from his perspective as well. You're doing the man a big favor by telling him early on, because men also, they may act as if they're all strong and that the emotional side does not hit them as hard, but it absolutely does hit them hard as well. So I tell women that, you know what, you're doing him a big favor, because I met a lot of men who fall in love easy, because it's a very tough market for men as well. So a lot of the problems that women face, men face the same ones. All right, moving along. So this is the architecture that separates me from other coaches. I don't pretend that dating is meant to just be fun and you talk about work and travel and food for the first few weeks or the first few months. I dive right into the deep stuff. And the first two are sex and exclusivity. Because if there's no sex or there's no romantic attraction, you're just friends. You're just friends. So there's no potential for a romantic relationship. And then my first big five, continue with money, marriage, and children. And the bridge from short term to long term is usually the topic of money, which a lot of people avoid, because my money now involves home ownership, spending habits, investing, spending, lifestyle. So that's usually the big one, that either men or women do not bring up early enough. And that's where I step in and being like, you can. It's a skill that needs to be developed, and discuss money even before religion. Yeah, I agree with that, Abel. I agree with that. And then I built a coaching system around helping women navigate these topics earlier and creating monthly rituals for compounding long-term fulfillment. So you don't just have this conversation once. It's like monthly 90-minute talk that you have with your partner to make sure that you're on the same page. And that's only 12 each year. So it's not a lot of time, but it really impacts the depth of your relationship. And discuss values alignment even before money and faith. Yeah. And in terms of values, I say sex and exclusivity are universal values to me. So I say that yes, you may have your own personal ones, but you have to value these two as well. So bring up whatever personal stuff you have, because that's unique to you, but don't forget these five as well. And I have 7 more, but those do not need to be covered in this talk. So all good comments in terms of what you shared. Okay. So summary, because we are 40 minutes in, the biggest lesson I've learned in these past 7 years is that people do not pay premium for info, for information. They pay for clarity around decisions that change the trajectory of their lives. So they want to know methods and mindsets that they can apply for a long-term evolving relationship, not just one where you repeat the same things year after year after year. So in my business, those decisions involve romantic relationships, but think about your business at this point. What is your business, and what long-term transformation are you providing? Because if you can position it that way, in terms of the long-term impact, you can charge premium for that. And with that, I will open it up to any questions that you have.
I love the gift. So thank you for your presentation, Aaron. This was really, really exciting. I have so many questions, but I will start with a very simple one. Who's your ideal client? Like you mentioned that you help women, but I guess you have an ICP, right?
What? Sorry.
You have an ICP, an ideal client profile, like
Yeah,
your ideal client.
I do. Yeah, so Shiva would be a senior executive or business owner who's earning at least, I would say, 750 to 10 million. So that's the range of her income. And then her top challenges are, one is emotional exhaustion. So she's emotionally exhausted from mainly the apps and going on date after date after date, hoping for some outcome. So that's one main one, the emotional exhaustion. And two is waiting for a man to reach his potential. So she has given men a chance to like show his ambition and how driven he is, but they soon find out that even if a man is successful, does not mean that he is ambitious, does not mean that he'll do the hard things. So going back to the book called The Art of Impossible, he's now very comfortable. So he doesn't challenge himself. He'll say that he wants to start this new gym routine or create a new offer in his business, but he doesn't do it. So she waits and waits and waits, and women can easily lose years. One guy, the other guy. So women waiting for a man's potential that he's showing no signs of achieving. She's now done with that as well.
We have a question in the chat from Brian. Your clients often want to remain anonymous.
When your clients often want to remain anonymous, how have you approached marketing your service and raising your visibility? So the challenges they face are quite specific. So I don't need to share the names or who they are, but the problems are specific and in a way general enough for me to still make the content about those topics while still maintaining their privacy. And then I change a lot of details, right? So I will change certain aspects of the unique situation, which makes it extremely hard to actually know who they are. So just being good about preserving that privacy.
I'm sorry, it's a little bit noisy here, but I had a question.
Yeah, I saw that. In which case would you reject the client even if she's going to pay you premium? So for the so I have a pretty in-depth onboarding process. So first they have to fill out a questionnaire. Then we have to have the discovery call. And those take quite a bit of time. And usually the process is so strong because I ask them a lot of hard things too, right? I ask them about their wants, needs, and also the questions regarding money, children, sex. So that whole process, only the truly aligned ones will reach the point where I even offer them. Yeah, so it's built so that uh, a woman, we don't even get to the offer, because she will either pick up that this is not the right fit, or I will pick up on that. Yeah, so it's never happened that I've enrolled a client who was that misaligned that I would reject her. Yeah. I got a question from Ryan. I see that you've partnered with other coaches to host the live streams. How did you start doing that? So one thing I've learned is that uh, you have to demonstrate that you understand the client, and especially uh, what they are like. And so, since I'm not a woman, I decided to partner with women who are on the same eco system as me. So one is a divorce coach for women. Her name is Nikki, and our agreement was that we both will create content to share on LinkedIn, primarily for divorced women, because half of my clients have been divorced women. So if they don't need my help first, they can go to her. She can guide them through her coaching program for women post divorce, and then once they are ready to date, they can come work with me. And then my other collaborator is Joan, who also is the conscious love guide for women, but she's based in Toronto, and her method involves human design. So the two of us pretty much serve the same client, but through different methods. So we also it's you get more a broader range of experience when we do our lives. But good question, Ryan. What did they do when things work out versus when things didn't? So when things worked out, they followed every step. Uh, all of my pillars, right? So I say you can never skip any one of those. So money, marriage, children, health, fitness. So all 12 pillars need to be addressed. And if you miss even one, you're asking for long-term trouble. So the like when things did not work out was when a woman over one, we just worked for 3 months. So I was not there to guide her beyond. And then when I would follow up with them, say a year or two later, I found out that she didn't want to ask about money or kids, and then they just avoided that. And it was still being avoided because she's now waiting for him to bring it up, and that game is there's no deadline. You can wait and wait and wait. So yeah, yeah. which is why you have to talk about all 12. And yeah, you may not want to until it's too late, because now she's already been with him for 2 years or more, and now she looks at it, oh, I spent so much time that I don't want to lose. But I help us see then, look at your age, because most of my clients are from the mid 30s to mid 50s. So even if even if you're 55, I say that you still have a good 4 decades to go. So you still have a long time to go. So don't base long term decisions based on 2 or 3 or even 5 years you've already spent with someone who isn't willing to still talk about money. He's still not willing to talk about it. So, yeah.
All right. I don't have any other questions. Oh, we have another question
Any
from
other
the
question?
chat.
Without getting to personal, have you learned anything that you've attributed to your own dating and partner searching experiences that have crossed over into how you facilitate and help women you work with in their own journeys? Yeah, so my coach, Alan, who I had shared off earlier, he mainly helped me with the sex and exclusivity part of it. And that is usually just in the dating phase, because I say that the transition from dating to a relationship usually comes when you add in the topic of money to it, because now money is that immediate term, short term, and long term topic that impacts everything else. So money is the big one, and then money and the other 9 things. Those were my own experience, like something like diet, right? I meet women now who want to be vegans long term. So I have one of my seven, one of my 12 pillars is diet and food, right? So most women would not even think of that as a like serious important thing. But given that my long-term goal is to be vegan, that was one of the pillars. Um, so money, diet, lifestyle, putting those things as each of as part of the 12 were my own creations, which came from my own experience. And one pillar that is actually death as well. Death, you have to talk about the fact that both of you will one day die. That's one of my final two, because that is the end. I think a big reason why me and my first love was so close was because I told her in the like first few weeks that this will one day end. Either one of us will die, or we'll have to end it. We'll have to end it because we're not we are not compatible on one or more of those pillars anymore. And it's a very heavy topic, death, because no matter how good it is, it will end. But great question, Connor. Ryan, if you know any women who are high powered entrepreneurs or execs, I will be able to put them in contact with you. So I'll drop my email there. So I'll drop my email in the chat. Great question. So that should be .com, and I'll even drop my LinkedIn. But these simple things. Ryan said something so simple that just share with people how they can get in touch with you, which I did not do during this talk. So there you go. Like, make sure that even if it's a 5 to 10 second pitch at an event that you share, how people can get in touch with you. Such a basic thing that I have not done sometimes. And a woman says, Aaron, I do want to work with you. And then I never follow up with her, and she never has a way to get in touch with me. So don't forget to do the basics. Thanks, Ryan.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, it's good.
Noise. Okay, Aaron, thank you so much for your presentation and for answering all our questions. This has been incredible, interesting. I feel that we've been working on the wrong industries, all this time. The industry of law is super interesting. I have never seen that until now. So, anyway, thank you, and thank you everyone for coming today. And next week we have another online free session where we are discussing the income first philosophy and method. So if you guys want to join, that's I think Thursday 10 a.m. So again, thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everyone. It has been lovely.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to you as well. It's the first time that I've reflected on the whole 16 years of this journey. So deep appreciation to you and Marcella, and then also our attendees, Ryan, Connor, Dennis, and Christine. I know there's a lot going on. It's summer. It's FIFA. So having you all show up here means a lot to me, and your questions help. Every piece of question or feedback helps me refine it even more. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Bye.
See everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. Thank
Bye.
you.